What's up, guys? My name's Arianna.
And I'm Maple.
And today we're watching Better Call Saul. We're on season 3, episode 5.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out our Patreon. We do full-length watch-alongs on there, but you can also get early access to future episodes before they're live on the channel. Turn on notifications, join our community tabs. We got lots of stuff.
We're starting out loud AF.
Is this like a callback?
On the phone.
Just a sec, Jimmy. Excellent. Thank you for being so careful.
We have to get in your attic.
For what?
Oh, the hookup.
Oh, no, that's all right. Don't bother.
Oh, it won't take 20 minutes. Plus, you really can't use it if I don't do it.
No, it's all right. We're not gonna. When you're done here, would you get some more lamps in the garage? Thanks. So, you got a phone. The yard's half mowed. The sockets and stuff are looking A-okay. I'm gonna check again just to make sure we're almost there.
Good. Good. What do you think? On? Off?
I think off.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, off it is.
Chuck, you sure this is the right play? I mean, in my experience, the bigger the lie, the harder it can be to dig out.
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
The f is he lying? It was something with his divorce. Never in my life have I ever seen someone taste that way. I don't know. That's...
It's open! Rebecca.
Chuck.
You look lovely.
Hey, what's with the candles? Why are you sitting here in the dark?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Oh, my God. 2 hours ago, I take the sea bass out. No sooner is it prepped and resting than, boom, power goes down. I get on the phone to the city. To make a long story short, those bozos at PNM mixed up my payment. The deadbeat at 512 San Cristobal hasn't been paying his bills. And of course, I'm 215. Exactly. In the meantime, I borrowed some camping gear from my neighbors, hence the rustic flair.
Jeez.
yeah.
So what do? Get out of here and go to a restaurant? We could hit Seasons, your treat.
You know, dinner's almost ready. And the fish, I would have just had to throw it out. All I have to do is toss it in a pan. How about we just rough it?
Why not? It'll be fun. We'll do an haute cuisine campout. I can't eat another bite.
You know,
Well, least I can do is the dishes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny.
This was his plan to win her back, and then that's what spun him out.
Better than I thought. I'm so sorry about the lights.
Oh, it's nice. Atmospheric. I still can't get over Jimmy being a lawyer.
Neither can I. He's got his own shingle out and everything.
I mean, a real responsible citizen. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, I would have thought you'd change things up, move things around.
You've got great taste, and if it ain't broke, how's the tour going?
It's good, good. The Far East this fall. I mean, you know, I like the buses and trains and planes fine, but I miss having one place to hang my hat. Oh, God. I'm sorry. I hate that thing. I feel like I'm on a leash. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's my conductor.
Oh, he was already
No,
like
I
that. He
know
was just
that you're
trying not
running
to...
late on bar 16.
So she didn't notice.
Okay. All right, shoot. Heidi?
Chuck.
All right.
Well, do you want me to rehearse the cello separately?
No, it's not just him, it's the whole section.
Rebecca.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah. John, what the hell? I'll have to call you back. I'm sorry. What is your problem?
Say something.
It is incredibly bad manners to answer a cell
Oh,
phone in
my
company.
gosh.
very
Wow. We're not...
I'm sorry.
Girl, don't
I-
apologize.
I didn't know that you felt that way. I didn't mean to offend you, Chuck.
I may have overreacted. That was very abrupt.
No, I understand.
No.
It's getting late.
No, I don't.
Thank you for
I
a lovely
would not
dinner.
be
But I
understanding.
should be getting back to the hotel.
You can't let her leave like this. Just tell her what's going on.
No.
She'll understand. Just,
Thank you.
would you rather she think you're a raging prick than know the truth?
Thank you.
No. Look, if you won't tell her, then I will. No. You will not tell her.
Weird. That's like almost sadder that it wasn't even like the cause of it. He like just couldn't even own up about it.
Jesus, what are you doing, man? There's barely any oxygen in that bag. You're suffocating her.
Her?
Yeah, just because you don't see swinging dicks doesn't mean you can't tell a boy fish from a girl fish.
All right, already, Jacques Cousteau. Point made.
Good. I'm guessing our friend didn't refer you to me to get ichthyological advice.
I'm looking for someone with a light touch.
You gotta fit him in a tight space?
I don't think so.
I got just the guy then.
What if it's Mike?
Great job, Mr. McSlin. Very refreshing.
Thank you, sir.
Kim, I knew you were good, but I didn't know you were this good.
We couldn't have done it without you, and I hope you realize this means a whole lot of work coming your way.
Oh, that's great.
Well, you don't sound like it's great.
I hate to be a buzzkill, but there is something you need to hear before we get any deeper in. It's about your former attorney, Charles McGill. Charles has been making some very ugly allegations about his brother, with whom I happen to share an office space.
Allegations of what?
Charles thinks that Jimmy somehow took control of your documents while he was working on them at his home. He believes Jimmy transposed the address numbers.
Transpose the numbers? How would he even do that?
Charles contends that Jimmy took the documents pertaining to the Rosella branch, and while Charles was indisposed, photocopied and doctored them.
That's pretty Baroque.
The important thing here is I think it could make some noise in public. I wanted to tell you this in the spirit of full disclosure. I thought it was better if you heard it from me. If you have any reservations at this point, or if you are not comfortable staying with me, we can discuss options.
I'd be even more mad at HHM.
If there's one thing I cannot abide, it's a man who won't own up to his mistakes.
Yeah.
Now, whatever mud McGill is slinging is not going to screw me out of the best outside counsel I've ever had.
Oh, well, that's very sweet.
I'm so glad to hear that.
We appreciate the heads up, but you can call this baby put to bed. Now, the most important thing, dinner. 7 good for you?
You're sure it's not going to be a problem?
I am. Mr. Verde isn't involved in any way, shape, or form.
I'm slouching, guys. Sorry.
We'll collect all cell
The
phones
exit
and hold them for the
signs.
duration of your testimony.
The court reporter, would it be possible to move him or her farther from the witness stand?
Yeah, I think we can arrange having them in the back of the court. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about the exit signs. It's code.
He looks frustrated.
Mr. Allen,
Like he's
I
has
wonder
to
if you'd give us a
continuously
moment.
put
I'd like
on
to go
his
over something
like
with my colleague.
mask
No problem. I'll be outside when you're ready.
to be polite and not be.
Is he over him yet?
I think so. The way he just looked out that
How you feel,
window.
Chuck?
I'll muddle through.
Because this is a lot to ask. Maybe you don't need to testify at all.
No, I do. I'm the only person who can adequately explain the context of that tape. Otherwise, the defense will tear it to shreds.
We have Jimmy's statement from the pre-prosecution diversion. There's my testimony and the private eyes. Maybe there's no need to put you through the ringer like this.
This isn't about me or my health. This is about PR.
We lost a client. That happened because while you were incapacitated, your brother accessed documents that should have been secured at HHM. What Jimmy did is unconscionable, yes, but one of my jobs is to safeguard the firm's reputation.
Oh,
This
snap.
is not the time to worry about how we look. This is about what's right and what's wrong. I'm not going to risk Jimmy getting.
He's
what,
right,
years
though, man.
suspension? Maybe 2. He deserves disbarment, not some slap on the wrist. Let justice be done, though the heavens fall.
The State Bar believes that once we have presented the facts, the committee will agree that
I forgot about the pictures that Mike took. I'm excited to see how this plays out.
It's quite
exciting.
Good morning. You've already read Mr. McGill's pre-prosecution statement. We don't dispute he broke into his brother's house, an act he regrets deeply. But there is another side to this story, one not about calculation, ill intent, but about 2 brothers whose relationship, after years of strain, finally broke.
Yeah.
We believe that after you have the complete picture, you'll understand James McGill is an asset to our legal community. And he should remain a full member of it in good standing.
This is going to be so interesting.
Everyone's ready to begin testimony. Mr. Alley, call your witness.
Bang, bang, bang. Then he kicked down the door. Jimmy was very agitated. He was shouting. He demanded Charles turn over the evidence he'd been collecting.
Objection. We haven't established the tape is evidence of anything. The defense has only acknowledged it as a piece of property.
Allow me to rephrase. Jimmy demanded an audio cassette in Charles's possession. which Jimmy proceeded, with the help of an iron fireplace implement, to pry from Charles's desk. He then broke the cassette into pieces and went on to confront his brother.
What happened after the defendant smashed this tape?
Mr. Brightbill and I...
That's the private investigator that Charles hired?
He and I were concerned that Jimmy might strike his brother, so that's when we stepped in.
Thank you, Mr. Hamlin.
Certainly.
I hate that tie.
It is quite ugly.
You testified you've known my client for some time. How long exactly?
Nearly 10 years.
How did you come to know him?
His brother asked to hire him in the mailroom at our firm.
And you did?
Yes.
What was your opinion of him then?
He had a lot of get up and go. He was a hard worker.
You had a nickname for him, didn't you?
Charlie Hustle.
How'd you feel when you found out he'd become a lawyer?
Surprised. He'd put himself through law school and taken the bar exam without telling any of the partners, even Charles.
He bootstrapped his way into a law degree while working in your mailroom. Did you consider taking him on as an associate?
We did, briefly.
Sounds like you didn't hire him. Why not? With that kind of grit?
The partners decided it would be best to avoid the appearance of nepotism. We felt hiring Jimmy might damage morale.
Nepotism. Your firm is Hamlin, and McGill, right? Who's the other Hamlin?
My father,
Which partner was the most concerned with nepotism?
Charles McGill.
So Jimmy's own brother blocked him.
Objection. How are the hiring practices of Hamlin, McGill relevant here?
It's relevant to understand the relationship between these brothers.
We'll give you some leeway, Miss Wexler, but don't stray too far. Charles McGill is not the subject of this hearing.
Did Jimmy know his brother was the one that prevented you from hiring him?
He did not. Eventually, he was hired by the firm of Davis and Main. I'd be happy to say more about that.
When Charles's condition appeared, Jimmy took care of him, didn't he?
I believe so.
Jimmy was struggling to build his solo law practice, and yet every single day, without fail, he brought his brother food, supplies, even his favorite newspapers. Isn't that right?
He did.
Could you speak to the terms of Charles's leave of absence?
It was an FMLA leave. Anything more is confidential.
But you can confirm it was due to mental illness, correct?
Objection. Charles McGill's mental health isn't at issue.
Mr. Hamlin is not a psychiatric professional. Do you have any questions that would be more germane to his experience?
No.
We ask that Charles McGill's recording be played.
I'm respectfully renewing my objection. The probative value of playing this exhibit is outweighed by how prejudicial it is.
Ms. Wexler, we already ruled this was fair game when we denied your motion to suppress. What are you still doing here?
Flight's delayed.
How delayed?
40 minutes last I checked.
They call in Rebecca.
I'm begging your pardon. The defense requests a moment to review, if we could.
All right. When you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
What are we doing?
Stalling.
Yes, my brother has many admirable qualities. In some ways, I can say I admire him.
Too cold.
I love my brother.
Chuck, I hate you.
Ted Kaczynski's brother loved him, too.
That's crazy. You're going to bring up the Unabomber.
Sanctimonious. I love my brother.
Just leave it at
He's a
that.
good person. He has good in him.
Yep, so what are you doing?
It's too important.
You right there, Howard?
The law is too important.
You'd go to such lengths to humiliate me.
I love that shot.
She worked her butt off to get Mesa Verde while you and Howard sat around sipping scotch and chortling. I honestly didn't think it would hurt you so bad. I thought you'd just say, oh crap, I made a mistake, and go on with your life like a normal person. You do realize you just confessed to a felony? Yes. But you feel better, right? Besides, it's your word against mine.
I feel like the end of that tape is
Like
enough.
kind of the nail in the coffin. Like if you would have just said, but you feel better, right? And left it there.
Mr. Alley, we need to make accommodations for your next witness. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Your phone, sir?
I left it in the car.
Which it's like you're already doing this. Like trying to say his mental health isn't
like he has this terrible. Oh.
Sorry, it's yours.
What did he just
raise your
do?
right hand.
We know he can take things from you. Let's see if he can put things on you.
And nothing but the truth.
What I would like to hear about is this tape. What compelled you to make it?
I had a suspicion my brother had tampered with documents in a case I was working on.
Now, why would he do that? Doesn't sound particularly brotherly.
I believe it was his hope that the tainted documents would cause the client to become disillusioned with my representation and return to their previous attorney, Ms. Wexler. Which, I should note, is precisely what happened.
Objection.
I'm not saying Ms. Wexler knew what Jimmy was doing or had any involvement. I'm only stating that it happened.
Did you have any evidence to support your suspicions about James?
No. My brother, whatever else can be said of him, can be quite clever. Did an excellent job of covering his tracks.
Objection. The witness has admitted there's no corroborating evidence this supposed crime even occurred.
We're going to continue. It will extend you the same latitude on cross, Miss Wexler.
Go on, Mr. McGill.
Without physical evidence, I felt that a recorded confession, if I could get one, was my best bet. On its own, I knew the tape would be somewhat flimsy, but it was a start. I suppose that Jimmy must have felt the tape was decisive evidence on its own. Otherwise, he wouldn't have broken in to destroy it.
Objection. More speculation. How can he know what was going on in Jimmy's head?
Sustained. We just need to hear what happened, Mr. McGill.
I recorded my brother to build a case against him.
And at the time, would you say that you were in possession of your faculties? All due respect, but you do sound somewhat unhinged on the recording.
What you heard was theater, a performance. I exaggerated the symptoms of my disease to extract the truth.
Can we talk about your disease for a moment? I'd like everybody here to be on the same page about it.
Of course. It is sometimes referred to as EHS, electromagnetic hypersensitivity. I describe it as an acute allergy to electromagnetism.
It's not a common condition, is it?
30 years ago, no one had heard of peanut allergies.
But you admit that no doctor has ever diagnosed you.
AIDS was not identified properly until 1981. HIV wasn't known as the cause until 83. These things take time to unravel, even for doctors.
Would you say that your illness affects your ability to think clearly?
No, it affects me physically. It causes me great pain.
Mr. McGill, I have only one more question for you. Do you hate your brother?
Absolutely not. I love my brother.
Okay.
There's nothing malicious in Jimmy.
But the law is too
He has a
important.
way of doing the worst things for reasons that sound almost noble.
Yeah.
But what I know for sure is that the law is too important to be toyed with.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh, shut up. He's so annoying. I'm sorry.
My
Ugh.
brother treats the law. That's why I did what I did. Not to hurt him, but to protect something that I hold sacred.
Yeah.
The state bar rests.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, my co-counsel and I need a moment to confer.
Please be brief, Counselor.
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry. Might I have a moment to get a breath?
Folks, let's call this 15. Everybody, please be back and ready to go on the hour.
Rebecca.
Chuck, it's good to see you.
I have to say, I'm a bit surprised. Did Jimmy subpoena you? You're not on the witness list. You don't have to testify.
No, I'm not here for that. Chuck, I wish you'd told me. I can't believe what you've been going through. How long has it been?
Oh, you're here to help. Because all this is so stressful for me. Is that what Jimmy told you?
He's worried about you, Chuck. In spite of everything that's happened between the two of you, he cares.
What exactly did he say?
Well, that you had been sick, allergic to electricity. He sent me pictures of the house. Chuck, my God. Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't want to upset you, but now you're here. And now you know.
I came because I thought it was the right thing. I don't know that you'd want me to. But I guess that I'm more of a distraction. I'm going to be in town for a few days, and I would love to spend some time with you. But right now, I think I should go.
No, please. I want you to stay.
Really? You don't seem happy to see me.
I am. Just surprised, that's all. Please.
She's so poised.
She really is.
Are you sure?
You've been sold a bill of goods, Rebecca. I want you to see what's what.
Chuck, what's what is that you're crazy, okay? What?
You know, she's gonna hate you when this is over.
Yep.
Think he can live with it.
At this time, I'd like to turn cross-examination over to my co-counsel, James McGill.
Well, there's been a lot of fuss about it, but you and I have never really talked about this tape you made.
We lost the opportunity when you burglarized my house to destroy it.
That you set him up to do.
And I was in the wrong there. Still, I'd like to try and follow your story of why and how you recorded it.
Oh, is this where you claim the tape is spurious? That it's not really your voice?
No, that's me on the tape. But still, I have some questions. Like the recorder, it must have hurt like hell for you to touch that.
There was a degree of discomfort, that's true.
And where did you hide it? I mean, the sound's pretty clear, so it wasn't in the couch cushions, was it?
Tucked under a space blanket, out of sight.
So there's no chance I would see it. Not with the state your place was in. Isn't that right?
I suppose.
Would you like to set the scene for the disciplinary committee? Tell them, what your house looked like at the time of the recording.
Objection. Relevance?
Well, the circumstances of the recording are materially relevant. How can you know what the tape really means unless you know what was going on when it was recorded?
Overruled. The witness could answer the question.
Yes,
I covered most of the walls with foil scrim craft insulation. I also hung a number of space blankets. They insulate and protect against mild electromagnetic radiation.
Right, so shiny insulation and space blankets all over the walls and the ceiling. It was like being inside of a disco ball.
Do you have a point?
I'm impressed by how much work went into entrapping me. You went all out.
I didn't entrap you. I provoked an admission in adverse interest. That's not the same thing.
How did you know it would work?
What do you mean?
How did you know your provocation would work? Why'd you think a bunch of shiny plastic would make me say anything? Isn't it because you knew that it was precisely the thing that would worry me so much that I'd say anything to talk you down?
Objection.
Okay, withdrawn. Let's get back to your house. Every surface covered in tinfoil. Nothing crazy about that, huh?
As I've said, I was playing up my condition. Usually it's a perfectly normal house.
You think your house is normal? Can I call your attention to Exhibit 9? This is your house, right?
Yes.
So exposed wires. There's a camp stove. There's a lantern on top of newspapers. You call this normal?
I call them adaptations. A prophylactic measure for a physical medical condition.
Did the doctor who granted me guardianship for you think this was a physical condition?
You can't introduce a TEG as evidence. Besides which, the panel has already ruled that Mr. McGill's mental health is not at issue.
The state bar opened the door to this on direct when the witness talked about his supposed play acting. Allowing me to follow up on cross is only reasonable.
Not a mental disability.
Potato. It comes down to this. In order to understand what I was thinking, you need to see Chuck through my eyes. You need to know if I believe that tape was evidence. And I say it was evidence of only one thing. My brother hates me. Now, he claims that he lied to me to get me to tell the truth. And I'm telling you, I lied to my brother to make him feel better. Which of us you believe depends on how we all understand the mind of Charles McGill.
We did promise the defense some leeway.
Mm-hmm.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yourself.
Oh, dang.
I'd like to go back a little further, talk about when these symptoms first started. It was shortly after you were divorced.
Oh.
Yes.
You think the stress of the divorce brought on the illness?
I doubt it. It was an amicable split.
In fact, your ex-wife is present with us today, is she not? When was the last time you two saw each other?
Objection. This is not family court. We're not here to relitigate the witness's divorce. I can't see what purpose this serves.
I can. I'll tell you why my brother brought my ex-wife to this hearing. 4,000 miles she came. Lured by concern for me. What Jimmy's driving at is the last time I saw her, I covered up my illness. I've been suffering from it for some time, but I went to great lengths to conceal that fact from her. I'm sorry I deceived you, Rebecca. Now Jimmy has outed me in front of you. You know why? To rattle me. He knows I still have a lot of feeling for my ex-wife. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Jimmy. Have I answered your questions to your satisfaction?
Earlier, you talked about other diseases, physical conditions. You said, okay, if you'd had, lung cancer, would you have told Rebecca then?
If that had been the case, maybe I might have.
So how is this different?
Mr. McGill, move it along.
You don't have to answer that. I want to get down to brass tacks. I want to be very, very specific here. This illness, what does it feel like?
There's a tightness in my chest, difficulty breathing, burning pain. The pain spreads everywhere.
Sounds horrible. Does it hurt right now?
There's always some discomfort, yes. Electricity is everywhere in the modern world. But I very much appreciate the indulgence of the panel for their accommodation here today.
Right, so with the lights out, you don't feel them.
If the current's not flowing, no.
Sorry about the exit signs. I guess they couldn't kill those for you.
Well, they're not drawing much current and they're far away. Intensity drops off with distance per the inverse square law.
Okay, well, inverse square, I'm not a physicist. Could you dumb that down a shade for me?
The farther away it is, the stronger the source needs to be to have an effect.
Got it. So if I had a small battery, say, from a watch or something, and I got it close to you, close to your skin, you'd know.
I would feel it, yes.
Can you feel more current coming from any particular direction right now? From the back wall? Can you tell us where the nearest source is right now?
Jimmy, do you have something in your pocket?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, my cell phone. From this distance, you should feel it, and you don't, do you?
Mr. McGill, you were warned to leave your electronics outside.
It's all right. It's all right. May I? Just as I thought. There's no battery in here. Sorry little trick, isn't it?
Yeah, you got me, Chuck. Dead to rights.
God, Jimmy. Don't you know by now this is real?
He put something on him.
100%.
But how is he going to reveal that?
Could you reach into your breast pocket and tell me what's there?
What now?
Can you tell the court what that was?
Mr. Chairman,
You recognize that man in back? His name is Huel Babineau. He's on our witness list. You bumped into him in the stairway. He'll testify he planted this fully charged battery on you over an hour and a half ago.
Hour and 43 minutes.
And you felt nothing.
No, it's a trick. It has
Enough is enough. I submit that Mr. McGill's mental illness is a non-issue. If he were schizophrenic, it wouldn't take away from the fact that the defendant...
crazy!
Oh. You just had that battery on you the whole time.
I'm not crazy. I know he swapped those numbers. I knew it was 1216. One after Magna Carta, as if I could ever make such a mistake. I just couldn't prove it. He covered his tracks. He got that idiot at the copy shop to lie for him.
Mr. McGill, please, you don't have to go...
You think this is something? You think this is bad? This chicanery? He's done worse. That's billboard. Are you telling me that a man just happens to fall like that? No, he orchestrated it. Jimmy. He defecated through a sunroof, and I saved him. And I shouldn't have. I took him into my own firm. What was I thinking? He'll never change. Ever since he was 9, always the same.
So you do hate your brother.
The cash drawer.
So you hate your brother.
Our Jimmy couldn't be precious Jimmy, stealing them blind. And he gets to be a lawyer? What a sick joke.
Wow.
I should have stopped him when I had the chance. And you have to stop him.
Yeah.
And it's crumbled. Yeah.
And you just screwed it.
That's awkward.
I apologize.
No, you don't.
I lost my train of thought. I got carried away. Do you have anything else?
No. Nothing further.
He's about to go catatonic. Dang, that was crazy framing.
Oh, that's wild. Wow. I'm glad that they dedicated an entire episode, though, to that specific sequence.
Yeah.
Between them.
That payoff is so good because I was like, when he said, yeah, I have my phone in me, but and then to lull Chuck into a sense, that's the craziest part, to lull him to a fake sense of security. He goes, yeah, I did take the battery out. And then the battery, what's on him?
Yeah.
Also, Chuck, you're crazy.
He is, like,
You're
regardless.
ill.
Yeah, he is ill, like, and he's having his whole own thing, which it was his divorce that set him off. And then it was just like everything else. Like, I feel like then he basically like started taking out his anger.
I believe the anger and the resentment he feels for Jimmy is real. And I do feel like that is like a thing, but at the end of the day,
He's taking it too far.
Your mental health.
Yeah.
The way that your divorce went down and everything else, in ways that no matter how you truly feel about him, he still was there every day since it literally, you became this person. So how much more loyalty does he have to, what else could he possibly have done to prove to you?
Let's not forget that they were doing things that are wildly inappropriate towards Kim in a workspace and being abusive. Like, they were being abusive and manipulative within the workspace. All because Chuck was pulling strings.
Yeah, I do think that was Howard, though. That was Howard's thing. I think Chuck
but I
said he
think
didn't
part
know
of it
about
was to spite Jimmy. I don't know how much I believe. You know what I mean? Like,
I think Howard's his own weird breed because the way he has to like suck. Because Howard just like, I feel like he would be the one who would just lash and be like, put her in the basement. Because he, you see how he like constantly is trying so hard to like put on his mask and turn around and say what he needs to say. Like when they see how when you can tell how mad he is at Kim when they're walking into the meeting with Mesa Verde.
Right.
And he's like ignoring her and then puts on a smile and goes in and fakes it. So I don't think it's above Howard to act that way. But with that being said, I like, you are ill, okay, so yeah, you believe that Jimmy's bad and all these other things, but you think he's so bad that you're going to just say, oh, the last 2 years of him doing literally everything for you is what? Just his restitution, and then that's still not enough for you?
Yeah.
Every day. That's still not enough for him to be like, I love my brother, I'm loyal to my brother, I want the best for my brother. That's still not enough for you. And then you double down on Howard being the reason that you wouldn't give him a job at H&M McGill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those people, it's like you're never satisfied. Like Chuck was never going to be satisfied no matter what Jimmy did. And that's so apparent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like it's just desserts. That's how I feel. Like, and you are sick. Go get help.
Yeah. Focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself.
Worry about yourself.
Why are you so mad?
Yeah. Yeah. And based on what I saw of Jimmy's experience, his dad was giving away the register.
100%. Like he literally said, like, they know that you can get got.
Yeah. Like,
you're letting it happen. And then Jimmy was like, well, not that it's right, not that you should ever do that to your family, but also, I mean, and I'm sorry that hurt your feelings that they didn't believe you about how bad that was, but
yeah.
That is, and sorry he was so precious, Jimmy, and you didn't feel like you got your stuff. Again, it just, and that's the thing, I hate to say it that way. Whatever your moral compass is or your ethics are, whatever, at the end of the day, you're still jealous. Chuck's still jealous.
Yeah.
That's what it stems from.
Yeah.
It's not his righteousness. It's you're jealous.
No, it's not the law. It's not, yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
See ya.
Bye.